Welcome to News Nexus. Tonight we're asking a simple question with complicated answers. Why do so many American roads, bridges, and city systems feel worn out, fragile, and slow? If you've ever swerved around a cratered pothole, crept across a rust-streaked bridge, or boiled your tap water because a main burst down the street, you've felt the problem. Tonight, we'll trace how we got here, what it costs, and how a maintenance-first, resilience-focused plan can rebuild trust in the systems that hold up daily life. Let's start behind the wheel, where most of us meet infrastructure up close. The sign says 70, but the pavement says 40. 4 lanes squeeze into 2. You ride a drumbeat of thuds and rattles that sound like loose change in a metal can. Those sounds have a price. Bent rims, worn shocks, wasted fuel, late deliveries, missed appointments. One delay is a nuisance. 1 million delays multiplied across the map become a quiet tax on every job, every business, every family. That's the first clue that decay isn't just ugly, it's expensive. Keep driving, and the second act rises out of the river. Bridges. A bridge rarely fails in a single gasp. It whispers first. Expansion joints go out of step. Bearings seize. Paint blisters. Rust blooms. Concrete sheds pebbles into the water below. Many spans were designed for a lighter era and now carry heavier loads, more often, for longer. Even when a bridge isn't in danger of collapse, weight limits and closures reroute life. An ambulance needs 10 extra minutes. A farm truck makes a 30-mile detour. A shift worker quits because the new commute kills the paycheck the job promised. When a bridge falters, a whole network frays. Now look below the asphalt. Cities run on pipes nobody sees until they fail. Water mains laid generations ago crack without warning. Streets turn into muddy rivers. Restaurants close. Daycares cancel. Dozens of homes go on boil water orders. Sewer systems sized for smaller populations and gentler storms overflow during downpours, sending untreated water into rivers and sometimes into basements. The risk isn't just inconvenience, it's public health. And it often lands hardest in neighborhoods that can least afford it. Look up and you'll see the electric grid trying to do more than ever. Summers are hotter. Winters are sharper. Wildfires and hurricanes hit lines, poles, and substations. A grid built for one-way power, from plants to homes, now juggles two-way flows from rooftop solar, neighborhood batteries, and microgrids. The payoff can be big. Cleaner air, lower long-run costs, and neighborhoods that can keep essential services running when trouble hits. But the transition is complex, and every delay means another season of rolling outages and tense refreshes of outage maps. Public transit tells its own story. Rails need grinding. Switches need adjustment. Signals need calibration. Buses need space and priority. When maintenance gets pushed off, breakdowns multiply. Riders pay in lost hours and missed paychecks. Reliability erodes. Ridership drops. Budgets shrink. Reliability erodes again. It's a spiral that eats opportunity from the edges inward, especially for people who don't have a car or a flexible schedule. Airports and ports are the front doors of the economy. Many terminals still wear the bones of an earlier era, patched and repatched. Delays ripple from cramped gates and outdated taxiways. Ports face dredging backlogs, storm damage, and rail links that choke under freight surges. One choke point jams, and the shockwaves hit factory schedules, store shelves, and your doorstep. This isn't just logistics, it's resilience, measured in jobs and prices. How did we get here? Part of it is cultural. We love a ribbon cutting. We're less excited about maintenance forever. The new interchange earns speeches. The crew that seal coats on time earns anonymity. Asphalt doesn't vote. Pipes don't post selfies. But maintenance is where value lives. $1 spent at the right time can save 5 later. Seal a crack early and you keep water out. Ignore it and the base fails. Then you pay to rebuild a road that could have been protected. Another part is how we pay. The classic model relied on a fuel tax that didn't keep up with inflation, rising material costs, and more efficient vehicles. States and cities juggle bonds, levies, and grants. Short-term money breeds short-term thinking. Leadership changes. Priorities shift. What gets delayed once is easier to delay again. Then there's the maze. Permitting and procurement rules exist to protect communities and the environment. That matters. But when reviews stack on reviews, when paper files live in literal file cabinets, Projects take years to start and years to finish. Along the way, they absorb change orders, lawsuits, and supply shocks. The goal is better, cleaner, fairer projects. The reality, too often, is slow. Workforce is a quieter constraint. The people who pour perfect decks, weld critical joints, program signal cabinets, tune substations, and run tunnel-boring machines are retiring. Training a lineman who understands analog switchgear and modern control systems takes time. Training water operators who can meet new standards takes time. Without that pipeline, money waits, schedules slip, and risk rises. Climate is the pressure multiplier. Roads buckle in heat that used to be rare. Culverts sized for yesterday's storms act like blocked straws under today's downpours. Coastal bridges see more surge, more salt, more corrosion. Wildfire seasons stretch. Old design rules no longer hold. Rebuild for yesterday and you rebuild to fail. And equity is not a side note, it's the map. The worst potholes, the most frequent shutoffs, the least reliable transit, the highest flood risks. Too often they cluster in the same neighborhoods. When a bus breaks in a wealthy district, there are options. When it breaks in a transit desert, someone misses a shift, a class, a paycheck. Infrastructure failure is never neutral. It sorts winners and losers with ruthless efficiency. Let's talk about consequences that don't fit on a spreadsheet. A bakery throws out a day of dough because a water main break shut off taps at dawn. A hospital loses precious minutes on a detour. A manufacturer looks at an unreliable corridor and chooses a different state. Families quietly lose choices when a bus line fails or a bridge weight limit makes a job across the river impossible. The hidden tax shows up everywhere, and it adds up. So what does a turnaround look like? It starts with a decision. Maintenance first. Not as a slogan, but as a discipline. The cities that win at maintenance inventory their assets like a great shop inventories its tools. Every mile of pavement, every span, every valve, every signal cabinet, identified, graded, scheduled, and funded. Pavement is sealed before water gets in. Bridges are washed and repainted before rust wins. Bearings are replaced before they seize. Hydrants are flushed before a fire exposes a stuck valve. Signals are retimed for how traffic actually moves, not how it moved 10 years ago. Then we design for resilience, not just replacement. When a culvert fails, maybe the answer is a larger culvert and upstream wetlands to soak up storms. When a coastal road erodes, maybe the answer is to move it inland and build living shorelines that absorb wave energy. When heat becomes the new normal, we change pavement mixes and rail fasteners to tolerate higher temperatures. When wildfires threaten power lines, we harden poles, insulate spans, bury strategic segments, and create microgrids so essential services can keep running. We simplify where we can. Not every corridor needs to be bespoke. Precast bridge elements can slash closure times. Standardized signal cabinets can be swapped like modules. Repeatable designs cut cost and cut risk without cutting safety. The goal isn't to strip away beauty. It's to strip away friction that adds no value. We speed up good decisions without cutting corners. That means engaging communities early, so surprises don't explode late. It means programmatic environmental reviews for repetitive, low-impact work. It means digitizing paperwork and running reviews in parallel, not in series. It means transparent dashboards that show trade-offs in the open. Cost, risk reduction, travel time saved, emissions impact, and who benefits. We rebuild the talent pipeline. High school pre-apprenticeships feed union trades. Community colleges teach modern surveying, CAD, SCADA, protection engineering, and advanced welding. Scholarships target water operators and linemen, the quiet crafts that keep civilization running. We open smart immigration pathways for skilled workers to fill urgent gaps. Because infrastructure is people before it is concrete and steel. We modernize funding. If revenue depends on gasoline while the fleet electrifies, shortfalls are math, not politics. Distance-based fees, fair tolling, and congestion pricing can help, paired with privacy protections, equity rebates, and reinvestment where the money was raised. Long-term, some general revenue will always be needed. Infrastructure is a public good with economy-wide benefits. The key is to protect maintenance dollars so they cannot be raided by the next shiny project. We make technology serve the mission. Sensors on bridges can catch strain before cracks. Analytics can flag pavement likely to fail next winter. Digital twins can simulate storms and pinpoint the cheapest places to add capacity. But none of it matters if software can't be maintained and sensors can't be calibrated. Buy tools you can support for a decade, not gadgets that win a press conference and gather dust. And we reset expectations about time. Infrastructure lives on the scale of decades. The bridge your kids cross should carry your grandkids. That demands leaders who plant trees they'll never sit under and voters who reward them for it. It demands patience with detours and discipline against shortcuts that look cheap today and cost a fortune tomorrow. Let's get practical, system by system. Roads. Adopt a pavement management system that grades each segment and chooses the right treatment at the right time. Crack seal early. Chip seal where it fits. Mill and overlay before the base fails. Rebuild only when you must. Coordinate with utilities so a fresh surface isn't cut open a month later. Calibrate speed with design. Clear striping, curb extensions, safer intersections. Because fewer crashes mean fewer emergency repairs and fewer families grieving. Bridges. Build a permanent care team whose only job is proactive maintenance. Wash crews to remove salts. Paint crews to stop rust. Bearing crews to keep spans moving. Standardize components so a failed joint can be swapped in days, not months. Use movable platforms to keep lanes open. Document everything so the next engineer isn't hunting through dusty binders when a storm is inbound. Drinking water. Map every service line and prioritize replacements by risk. Schools, daycares, older homes first. Replace from main to meter, not just the faucet. Install leak detection to catch silent losses. Use trenchless methods to minimize disruption. Communicate early and clearly. What work is coming, when water will be off, why the outcome is safer, wastewater and stormwater. Separate systems where you can. Where you can't, build green infrastructure that soaks up and slows down. Rain gardens, permeable alleys, tree-lined medians, restored wetlands. Right-size pipes using tomorrow's rainfall, not yesterday's charts. Flood maps are no longer history lessons. They're forecasts. The grid. Build more transmission and make interconnection timelines predictable. Harden the last mile. Underground where risk and density justify it. Insulate where undergrounding doesn't. Add sectionalizers so one fault doesn't black out a neighborhood. Stockpile key components like transformers. Use modern vegetation management, drones, mapping, data to prevent outages. Set clear rules for rooftop solar and batteries so essential services can island when the wider grid stumbles. Transit. Reliability beats everything. Fix signals. Modernize maintenance shops. Buy vehicles you can maintain with parts you can source. Measure headways riders actually experience, not what the timetable claims. Give buses priority at lights and protected lanes on key corridors. Safety and predictability rebuild ridership. Ridership rebuilds budgets. Budgets support state of good repair. Airports and ports. Attack chokepoints first. Realign taxiways that waste minutes on every movement. Modernize gates and baggage systems that become bottlenecks every holiday. At ports, invest in on-dock rail and yard management to clear truck queues that foul neighborhoods and cost carriers money. Elevate electrical rooms. Add flood doors. Improve fire detection. These are insurance policies that pay off the first time a storm veers close. Dams and levees. Accept that risk never falls to zero. Upgrade spillways. Modernize monitoring. Maintain evacuation routes and warning systems. Offer buyouts in the most dangerous zones. The goal is not perfect safety. It's lower stakes when the rare event arrives. Threaded through all of this is trust. Real public participation, done early and honestly, makes projects faster. Show the options. Show the costs. Show who benefits and who bears the inconvenience. If a neighborhood shoulders a summer of construction, let the benefits land where the inconvenience did. Safer crosswalks, shaded sidewalks, a better bus stop, a repaired park. Don't hide the spreadsheet. When people feel respected, they become partners. We also have to confront cost. America often pays more for each mile and each station than peer nations. Some of that reflects standards we should keep. Safety, wages, environmental care. Some reflects complexity we should not. Bespoke designs, fragmented oversight, vague scopes that invite change orders. The fix isn't austerity, it's clarity. Clear standards, repeatable designs, professional project management, and the courage to stop a bad idea early. Let's pull in success stories, because they're real and they matter. Cities that blitzed lead pipe replacements years ahead of schedule by standardizing parts and staging work block by block. Bridge swaps completed over a single weekend using slide-in techniques that minimize closures. Bus networks redesigned to match where people live and work now, not where they did 20 years ago. Freeway caps that reconnect neighborhoods once sliced apart. The playbooks exist. Scale them, share them. Stop treating every project like the first of its kind. There's a role for the private sector beyond contracting. Insurers, freight companies, developers, and utilities pay for delay and decay in their own ledgers. When they share data and share risk, projects can align around measurable outcomes. Fewer outage minutes, faster freight turns, safer streets, more predictable travel times. Pay for performance where it makes sense and lock in long-term partnerships where value unfolds over decades, not quarters. And there's a role for each of us. If you're a voter, the next ballot might include a bond or a levy. Read it with one question in mind. What's the maintenance plan? If you're a local official, pick one corridor or one facility and make it a model. On time, on budget, with honest updates from start to finish. Success breeds success. If you're thinking about a career move, the trades and public works have never mattered more. Learn the craft that keeps water clean, lights on, bridges safe, and trains moving. You won't trend on social media, but you'll be essential. Let's bring it back to the human level. Infrastructure is not just concrete and steel. It's the school bus that arrives on time. It's the fire truck that doesn't slam into a crater on the way to your house. It's the paycheck that lands because a container moved through a port on schedule. It's the nurse who makes an early shift because the bridge was open, the train arrived, and the streetlights worked. It's dignity. It's opportunity. It's the quiet confidence that tomorrow will function. Here's the bottom line. The American story isn't about accepting decline. It's about seeing the cracks, rolling up our sleeves, and rebuilding stronger. Yes, the roads are rutted, the bridges are tired, the pipes are old, and the grid is strained. But the solutions are not mysterious. Maintenance first, resilience always. People at the center. Do the simple things well. Standardize where you can. Be ambitious where you must. Measure everything, tell the truth, and keep going. As you head into tomorrow, you'll see this story in small ways. A crew sealing a side street. A bearing being replaced under a familiar span. A bus gliding through an intersection it used to lose. A substation with fresh clearance and smarter protection. Quiet victories, stacked day after day, become a backbone worthy of the people it serves. You've been listening to News Nexus. If this deep dive helped you connect the dots, share it with someone who's tired of dodging potholes and detours. Subscribe for more long-form breakdowns of the systems that shape daily life. Housing, the grid, transportation, water, and the jobs of the future. We follow the money, the mechanics, and the human story behind the headline, because the future isn't wished into existence. It's built. I'm signing off with a promise. We'll keep tracking the repairs, the reforms, and the real-world wins that move us from frustration to function. Until next time, take care and keep pushing for the places you call home to work, really work again.